The surface fleet of Iran lies in smoking ruins at the bottom of Bandar Abbas, but for the United States Navy, the victory is premature. The true heart of the resistance does not float. It is buried deep within the earth. Along the jagged, sun-scorched coastline of the Zagros Mountains lies a terrifying feat of military engineering: the missile cities. These are not mere bunkers. They are sprawling, multi-level underground complexes carved through hundreds of feet of solid limestone and reinforced with meters of high-density concrete. These facilities are designed to be the ultimate insurance policy for a regional power. They are self-contained ecosystems with their own power plants, air filtration systems, and thousands of crew members living in perpetual readiness. Deep within these tunnels, the atmosphere is thick with the smell of hydraulic fluid and jet fuel. The loss of the surface fleet has triggered a pre-programmed retaliatory strike, a doctrine known as the Storm of the Coast. The concrete blast doors, some weighing over 50 tons, begin to slide open. From these dark apertures, the Transporter Erector Launchers, or TELs, emerge like prehistoric giants. They carry the Noor and Abu Mahdi long-range cruise missiles. The strategy here is not to win a fair fight, but to implement a strategy of anti-access, area denial, or A2AD. By saturating the sky with hundreds of incoming threats, they aim to overwhelm the Aegis combat systems of the American destroyers. If even one missile leaks through the defensive umbrella, a multi-billion-dollar aircraft carrier could be paralyzed. The strait is about to become a corridor of fire, and the American pilots must now find a way to decapitate a fortress that is hidden behind millions of tons of natural rock. As the first wave of Iranian missiles ignites, their boosters carving bright white streaks against the blue Persian sky, the battlefield is already being fought in a dimension invisible to the human eye: the electromagnetic spectrum. Leading the American strike package is the EA-18G Growler. This is not a bomber, it is a digital assassin. Its primary mission is to hijack the very airwaves the enemy relies on to survive. Every missile battery and every coastal radar station requires a lock to function. The Iranian Monolith and JY series search radars are currently painting the sky, searching for targets. Inside the Growler's cockpit, the ALQ-218 tactical jamming receivers pick up these pulses instantly. The AI on board the Growler identifies the specific frequency and waveform of the enemy radar and generates a countersignal. This is called Digital Radio Frequency Memory Jamming, or DRFM. The Growler doesn't just create noise, it creates ghosts. On the Iranian radar screens, instead of seeing a few American jets, they see hundreds of false targets appearing and disappearing. The radar operators are blinded by a wall of digital static. However, this is a deadly game of cat and mouse. The moment a Growler begins jamming, it becomes a beacon for home-on-jam missiles. The pilot must constantly shift frequencies and coordinate with other Growlers to create a moving shield of interference, masking the approach of the F-35C stealth fighters that are currently gliding toward their release points in total radio silence. While the Growlers create the confusion, the wild Weasels move in for the kill. These are specialized pilots whose job is to bait the enemy into turning on their sensors. They fly into the heart of the enemy's kill box, waiting for the distinct warning in their headset that tells them an Iranian S-300 or Bavar 373 surface-to-air missile system has locked onto them. The weapon of choice for this high-stakes duel is the AGM-88E AARGM, the Advanced Anti-Radiation Guided Missile. This is the latest evolution of the HARM family. Unlike older versions that could be fooled if the enemy simply turned off their radar, the AARGM is a thinking weapon. It possesses a multi-mode seeker that combines a passive radar homing head with a millimeter-wave active radar and GPS guidance. In a mountain pass near Jask, an Iranian radar crew believes they have outsmarted the Americans. They switch on their transmitter for only 3 seconds, get a fix on an F-18, and immediately shut it down to move their vehicle. But the AARGM has already memorized the exact GPS coordinate and the unique electronic fingerprint of that specific radar dish. Traveling at Mach 2.9, the missile doesn't care that the radar is now silent. It uses its onboard GPS to fly to the location, then switches on its own internal radar to search for the physical shape of the vehicle. In a fraction of a second, the missile identifies the cooling fans of the radar truck and dives directly into the center of the array. The eyes of the Fortress Coast are being systematically gouged out, leaving the missile launchers below blind, unable to guide their weapons to the American fleet. Now that the radar umbrella has been shredded, the American commanders turn to the final and most difficult stage, the destruction of the underground launch bays themselves. Standard high-explosive bombs are useless here. They would merely scar the surface of the mountain without harming the TELs hidden deep inside. The U.S. Navy deploys its most precise scalpel, the GBU-39 Small Diameter Bomb, or SDB. The SDB is a masterpiece of miniaturized lethality. Despite its small size, it is a smart glider, equipped with diamondback wings that allow it to be released from over 40 miles away. This allows the F-35C to stay outside the range of short-range point defenses. The SDB is designed for tandem penetration. In this simulation, the F-35S released 16 bombs in a single, synchronized ripple. The AI coordinates the impact timing to the millisecond. The first 4 bombs are programmed to hit the massive concrete blast doors at a specific angle, creating a structural weakness. The next 4 bombs follow exactly in the same flight path, entering the cracks created by the first wave. These bombs carry a tungsten-reinforced penetrator that can punch through several meters of reinforced concrete before detonating. The final 8 bombs fly directly into the breach. Inside the mountain, the results are apocalyptic. The explosion of the final wave ignites the stacks of NOR missiles and fuel tankers stored in the ready area. The pressure has nowhere to go. It surges through the tunnels, blowing out the ventilation shafts and collapsing the internal support pillars. From the outside, the mountain seems to groan before a massive tongue of fire erupts from the tunnel entrance, signaling the total internal collapse of the missile city. By 2 p.m., the Fortress Coast is a fortress no more. The scorched cliffs are littered with the wreckage of radar trucks and the twisted remains of mobile launchers. The hundreds of missiles that were meant to clear the sea of American carriers never even reached the water. They were killed in their cradles, buried under millions of tons of rock and concrete. This engagement provides a brutal lesson in the future of naval and littoral warfare. The Iranian doctrine relied on the shield of the earth, the idea that land-based assets could always outlast sea-based ones. They believed their underground tunnels provided a sanctuary that the U.S. Navy could not reach, but they failed to account for the total integration of the American kill chain. The combination of electronic dominance from the Growler, the radar-hunting tenacity of the AARGM, and the surgical penetration of the SDB has rendered the concept of a hardened target obsolete. The A2AD umbrella has not just been folded, it has been incinerated. The Strait of Hormuz is now an open highway for the carrier strike group. The electronic silence that follows the strike is the most telling sign of victory. There are no more radar pulses, no more radio chatter, and no more missiles emerging from the dark. As the sun begins its descent over the Zagros Mountains, the only thing remaining is the silence of the dead zone. The Fortress Coast has become a monument to the futility of hiding from a force that can see through the spectrum and strike through the rock. The gates of the Gulf are open, and the silent predators of the sky remain on station, their sensors scanning the ruins for the slightest flicker of a comeback that will never arrive.